Hello, welcome back to the Bedroom Boys podcast, where I'm joined with everybody's favorite British person, Ethan,
Good day.
and everybody's favorite American Spanish guy, Christian.
Hello.
Yay. The crew's back together for more dumb shit to do for this week, and maybe only this week.
It's only been like 6 months since we last did one.
It's been like a year.
Jesus. Gonna make me feel old.
We are old. Bro, I went to go get out of
What
my
do you mean?
chair at school yesterday, and I had to use both of my hands to get up out of the chair. I've turned into an old man.
Oh god.
I already get the knees of an old man.
True.
I've just been doing all my family's work, so nothing's changed there.
Work's fun. I like work sometimes.
Not when you're getting screamed at by someone for not doing it right, even though you are doing it right.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, I hate that. Oh my god, I hate that. Like, I. It's kind of even worse is when it's the person screaming at you doesn't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yep.
I get that.
Fucking shut the fuck up, Timmy. You don't know how to use the fucking hospital. What do you mean I'm doing it wrong?
What do you mean I'm using the bandsaw wrong? You don't even know how to
Shut the fuck up.
cross your toes or some shit. Just bruh. That's why I only stick with fields I know how to do. Like, if I see some idiot, doing something stupid, like, when I was doing my midterms for transportation and energy, we finished our midterms, but then they wanted us to put, a playset together or some shit. Something like a stand. And so one of these fucking idiots took a saw and was like, I wonder what happens if I do this, and pressed the saw up against his chest and started turning it.
Ugh.
I was like, I snatched it out of his hand and told him he's a fucking idiot.
I would say something about how Americans doing dumb stuff, but we already know that.
America, we're made for dumb things.
We're American. We're
Like,
dumb.
yeah, we have Florida. We have Florida and Texas. What more do you need? There's no evidence to show that we're not dumb. All right. What have you guys been doing this week?
Um, so my robotics club is like fucking crunching because we're like 2 weeks out from the competition.
Oh God,
Yeah, the robot rumble is like very soon.
the robot rumble. Oh no.
We can't say BattleBots because our school got sued, and I'm not joking.
We're
Your
saying
school
Val-
got sued for saying BattleBots.
Yep.
BattleBots roll out. Transformers.
I'm not joking. That's what literally happened.
That's kind of funny.
Like uh so our local news agency came out and like, Ayo, this is a couple years ago. So they're like, hey, look at Hersey High School over here. Like they name dropped the fucking school. Like hard name drop. The parent company for Balbot saw it and were like, get these motherfuckers a cease and desist right fucking now.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's, it's
That
uh,
sounds like a greedy company. Just
yeah.
what? You're using our name for a product? Some shit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It just sounds like the fucking DMCA law. I'm not gonna lie.
Probably because it is, like, honestly.
Yeah, bro.
Some companies proper take advantage of it.
I mean, if you have the correct legal documents to say that you own the rights to it, that makes sense. Sometimes it's just that's kind of stupid. You're gonna sue a place for using that, and then other times it's just yeah, that makes sense. But I think if I remember correctly, it all started with a band. I forget what band it was. It was It started with, I think it starts with an M.
Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica. It started with Metallica.
Hmm.
Oh, I remember this because like a month, not a month ago, like maybe I think it was 6 months ago. Twitch was doing a Twitch stream with Metallica in it. But since
Huh?
Metallica started the entire DMCA thing, they muted their stream and put like shitty like Nintendo music over it or some shit like that
Uh,
because DMCA,
okay.
bruh. It's stupid, but like there's so many like creators and shit that take advantage of it too, which sucks even
I
more.
heard that they're going to repeal the Hold It Act or whatever it was.
What act?
It was like the Hold It Act or some shit.
Hold it. I don't know what that
It's
is.
it's not just like it's not just like YouTube content creators who like take the mick out of it. It's also just random people now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, a lot of
the
people
legitimate trying to figure out what's legitimately been taken and what's not is so fucking hard.
there's been someone pausing his Nintendo and just claiming people's videos.
This happened to Pastilli. The 12 Days of Tarkmas was a
Oh,
uh
how did someone claim it?
no that so somebody claimed 12 Days of Christmas. Nobody owns 12 Days of Christmas. Like it's not, you can't own it. It's just a well-known song. Nobody owns it. But what they did is somebody claimed that they stole his idea and then copied
Fuck.
it word for word, which is not true. So he got a strike on his channel for it.
Really?
Yeah, they striked Pastilli,
I
which is
guess you could
I,
say
sad.
he got an SKS to the right knee.
He got a
I don't
KS to the left knee, bro. They KS'd him.
I don't want to say this because like I love YouTube. I grew up with it, but I really feel like YouTube's going downhill now.
Everything's
Oh, it
going
is.
downhill now. There's nothing that isn't downhill right now. But
For
it's
example,
mainly because of dumb shit like this.
well, yeah. For example, the UK government's going downhill, but we won't get into that here.
Oh
Oh,
God.
there's a lot of things going downhill right now, like mass mandates. Mass mandates are
Uh,
about to end. In my state, they end in 3 days.
In the UK, they've already ended.
um. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna fully end in my state soon too. Now.
Yeah, well, your state didn't your state get like sued for it being unconstitutional
Yeah.
or something? Yeah, well, yeah, the government can't dictate what we wear and what we can't wear, but
I'm not gonna argue with you anymore about it.
I mean, it's not really an argument. It's just more of just, hey, this is what our like federal law says, and this is what our government's doing that goes against this law.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, like
that is interesting. It's interesting because they did something similar in Florida. I think Florida in July, the governor just said we're not gonna mandate it because it goes against what our government believes in, and it should be within the right of the parents to dictate what their child should wear. It was something along the lines of that.
a whole strange situation. And yeah,
Well, what's the UK doing?
literally, mass mandates are stopped.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw what's your guy's name? What's your guys' prime minister name? I don't remember.
Not
Boris
Boris
Johnson.
Johnson.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah.
it was Boris Johnson.
Hmm.
Yeah, I saw a video of him saying that they're halting all mass mandates, and then like the entirety of your like Congress or some shit started cheering.
to be honest, Boris Johnson's completely screwed himself. So is the entire government.
I mean,
On the sole fact of they've literally lied to the public about not that. Well, actually, they went against their own rules and had a party anyway.
oh,
They lied about
our
it.
government has done the same thing.
Yeah, but the whole thing here is like no one trusts them anymore. It's like all three parties are involved, and they're all lying about it. And the second like one of them says, "Oh yeah, they were there," they all fucking turn on them.
Yeah.
That's like the whole situation we're in here.
Yeah, when COVID started kicking off, the Democrats they're all big and mighty. They're high up on their stools going, "Oh, we're not you need to wear masks. We're forcing the mask mandates." And then they would go out and they would start partying and they would get caught. They'd get caught partying and just sit and completely contradict themselves.
Yeah, that's just politics, mate.
Yeah, but it's like, come on, man. Like, you're out here saying, "Oh, we need to do this, we need to do that," but then you're going against your word. You're not making your case look any better.
Better.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just don't trust the government now.
Yeah, I think that everybody's government needs to get their shit together.
But speaking of governments, let's talk about the whole Ukraine situation.
Ah,
Oh,
Ukraine.
yeah. Fuck.
So I do research on this shit as I do because this is what I'm interested in. I have made like I think about a month ago, I made a map of my predictions of what the fuck's gonna happen, the best way to take out Ukraine, the best way to defend Ukraine, because that's just what I do. Every time some war like this happens, it's just how I figure this out.
That's
So,
how you roll.
there's no way that if Ukraine gets invaded, there's no way it'll be able to sustain a
Yeah, I heard
conventional
about
war.
that. And I also heard that Russia doesn't have the forces to hold Ukraine
Oh yeah,
because
because
the entire civilian populace would just revolt
yeah,
immediately.
well, it comes down to understanding the history of Ukraine and how the Russians have treated the Ukrainians for when they were in the Union,
Years.
uh, the Soviet Union. But yeah, the Ukrainians have been uh in Russia, they've been treated like cannon fodder. They weren't treated good and they still aren't treated good by Russians, so the Ukrainians have no intent on working with the Russians or helping them.
Yeah,
Blind me.
it's another situation that's just completely screwed up at the moment.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the results of the war games the UK and Poland ran?
No,
No.
I haven't actually.
Okay, so they used a software to do like to calculate and stuff like how long they would last and stuff and a war and who would win. The UK within 8 days, all of your guys' ammo has been shot. You have no ammo left within 8 days.
That's all we need. That's all we need. All we need is 8 days. And besides that point, we just start scavenging enemy weapons and ammo.
That sounds about right. But Poland would last 4 days. Their lines would be broken, and within the fifth day, the siege and complete annihilation of Warsaw would kick in.
What the fuck?
It just proves that we're just not ready for it.
We just gotta hope and pray that no one's gonna do something stupid.
Well, okay. So my country of America has deployed 3,000 troops, 2,000 to Poland and 1,000 to Romania. If Russia sees Ukraine as an opportunity to knock out NATO, the deaths of those soldiers and the sacrifice of those soldiers would go to fuel the American rage and kind of like how Pearl Harbor went down, where we got bombed and mass enlistment happened. You saw a bunch of people at the recruitment office. That's how this is. That's how that would go down.
In all truth, I don't think they're trying to like undermine NATO on the sole factor of trying to build up a bigger force. Like, have you seen what the demands were?
I haven't read all of them.
They were basically demanding all to NATO forces would not intervene if Russia would just go in to invade all the countries that weren't previously under USSR control. It's like all the way up to like Poland and Germany.
Yeah, but we're not Neville Chamberlain, so we ain't gonna fucking appease them with that.
Yeah, we don't do that sort of stuff.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
we don't.
we learned the hard way during World War II. If you appeasement is not the best option.
Fun fact about it, did I have I actually ever told you the main thing that appeasement was supposed to do?
What?
So during Hitler's rise to power, you know how he was like extremely anti-communist, right?
Yes.
So it was Britain and France's hope that by doing appeasement, they can get Germany strong enough to fucking attack the Soviet Union because they also didn't like the Soviet Union. But Hitler found out about this and decided to fucking go kick France's teeth in.
Well, it was as oversimplified put it is, Hitler would point and say, "I want that thing," and the
Yeah,
guy said, "You can have that thing, but no more." And
no
then
more.
he point at the Sudetenland. "I want that thing. You can have that thing, but nothing else." And then they wouldn't let him have Danzig, and that started a war. But if you think about it, that it is kind of and they kind of started their own destruction at that point. You can't look at a country that wants more and go, yeah, you can have that, but nothing else. It doesn't really work that way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But what's back on Ukraine, um, if they were to attack, we would lose probably Poland, Romania, and anybody in the Baltics.
Uh,
I
anyone who's in like
I
Eastern
truthfully
Europe.
doubt that will happen.
Yeah, I think that
On the sole
like
factor of like, look at most countries against Britain, for example. Russia may have more troops, but because we know we're underhanded for men, we train our troops to know that and to basically just entrench themselves in any position.
well, what's nice about Afghanistan and Iraq is we have combat tested soldiers. Our military has been uh, combat tested, and we still have people who have served in those countries in our military, which is nice because they know what they're doing when it comes to a firefight. But with the Russians, they don't have a lot of combat experience. They have war game. They have like the war games they run with Belarus. They have, of course, practice stuff. Everybody's military practices, but um, they don't have a lot of combat experience comparatively.
Oh yeah, that is true.
So that is a big factor in if they invade is we have the combat experience and the knowledge of what we're capable of doing.
Hmm.
But as
Yeah,
soon as they like try to if they tried to invade Poland, there's no doubt in my mind that part of Poland would fall. Same thing with Romania. There's no doubt in my mind that those places just would be pressured so heavily that they couldn't hold. Just because they're right on the border of Russia.
yeah, it's one of those situations where we either hit him hard first, or we will lose a lot of ground and push him back further.
Blitzkrieg.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a blitzkrieg for the Russians. they're gonna steamroll. They're gonna try to steamroll through Poland. But what is nice about Germany is they designed the Leopard to be able to fight the Russians on their turf. So if they ever reach Germany, the massive amount of mechanized and soldiers they do have they'll be ready and mobilized enough to hold the Russians back at bay.
Yeah. I'm personally thinking at a point where, like, for example, if the only way I can see some countries joining in the war effort, like Germany, for example, is if Russia purposely pushes into their territory,
So,
like West.
um, well, we pulled this in 9/11 is in NATO if one NATO member is attacked, it's considered we all get attacked. It's a
Oh
threat
yeah.
against us. So,
Yeah.
when we got bombed in 9/11 uh by
Everyone yells
Al-Qaeda,
NATO.
we took it as a personal attack on all of us. So we all went to Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. There will come a time when people think NATO is a bad choice, and
I
try to
mean,
think,
NATO's a defense alliance. It's
mm-hmm.
not. We're not gonna decide one day that we're gonna assault countries for no reason. It's pure defense.
Yeah, it all depends on
Mm.
what other countries decide to do with it. Like, for example, if Russia was in NATO now, what would we do about them? We couldn't just
Uh,
let would
I
we couldn't just let them take over.
no, I don't think Russia doesn't have the manpower. Right
Like
now,
it
at
could.
least, doesn't have the manpower to take Ukraine, hold Ukraine, and push NATO at the same time because
It's
of
just not.
the Ukrainians' pledge to insurgency and fighting against the Russians. So at that point, it's kind of a debate of uh,
Can they hold long
can
enough?
yeah, can they fight on long enough to deter Russia to pull out of their country, or will Russia try to invade NATO, seeing as a prime opportunity? And of
Though
of course, if they do, they're gonna want to wait until their invasion of Ukraine blew over, and we start withdrawing.
I do believe that which
The
my
sad
dad
thing is,
seems to think that it's gonna go nuclear quickly.
It's not gonna go nuclear. I think there's gonna be an agreement signed by everybody saying we cannot drop nukes on each other, because if we do, this
Imagine.
will start one of the biggest
launching a
things.
nuke is just launching nukes in this day and age is just pressing the suicide button.
Yeah,
There's
like
no
I could see it during the Cold War, but this day and age, no, it's not within the best interest of any country to go
because all
nuclear.
will happen is a nuke will get launched, even if it's just like a dud. They can get sent to major things, and if let's say
If it's a
USA,
dud, it's still a big heavy object. It can still do damage.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the USA might not know it's a dud, fire multiple nuclear missiles at Russia, completely knocking them out of combat. But while they're launching the missiles, Russia might fire live ones at other countries such as the UK, France, Germany. It literally
Massive
is.
shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ethan, can you turn up your mic a little bit or get closer a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that the audio works.
I'll knock it up to 80%.
All right. Yeah, because you can get really quiet, and with
How's this?
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
better.
Yeah, with an interesting conversation like this, your points make a.
Yeah, you're the closest.
Yeah, you're the closest to what the fuck's gonna happen, and your government's probably gonna do something
Well,
faster than
as Boris
Sleepy Joe
Johnson said
will.
himself, if Russia does decide to go to war, many Russian mothers' sons will not be coming home. That's his
Preach.
exact quote.
Oh
Well,
God.
yeah, our one of our congressmen said something that if you want war with the United States, somebody else will be raising your sons and daughters.
No, just why does just the governments nowadays just can't be friends even with themselves?
Well, that's truthful and kind of wrong. Because look at North Korea and America, for example. They were ready. They were at each other's throats at one point, and then suddenly just switch it around and stop fighting each other. Really.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one thing I'll give Trump props about is he like somehow managed to get us to like a tolerable point with North Korea.
And then even this whole Russia situation going on now, we're still trying to find like
We're
a
still trying to
neutral
find a
ground.
middle ground of
Yeah, we're trying not to cause all that.
yeah, we're trying to be reasonable. But I think no matter who,
Who does
no
it?
matter
It's
what
just gonna
day and
devolve.
era it would be, whether it be JFK or Richard Nixon or Franklin Roosevelt, I think everybody would try to de-escalate it to try to make sure that it's not war first.
I
Because
mean, I think
simply a world war or a war of that scale
It's
would
just not gonna
not
be
be in
good.
the best interest of any person's
I
country.
truthfully think the only leader in the UK that we wouldn't want in this situation is Margaret Thatcher.
Oh yeah.
On the sole factor of she would not take this. She would just say, "All right, you want this stuff? We're just going to send our entire military might there."
And
Oh,
But
Margaret Thatcher was a good prime minister for the UK, no doubt about it. But
oh yeah, I cannot argue that she did what she needed to, and she made England
she,
basically the
yeah,
powerhouse it is. Because
she
you
led England kind of really nicely.
look at the Falklands War as well. Everyone sees us as a small island, and
No,
oh yeah,
Margaret
that one.
Thatcher made it clear that it is British territory and it's home for a lot of people.
especially with the with the embassy in England that was attacked by terrorists.
Oh yeah, that one.
Oh,
She
but
made
yeah,
it apparently clear you do not strike British on their own soil.
oh yeah, you guys fight on your terms. You don't fight on other people's terms.
Exactly.
Which is what I like about the UK is you guys if you guys go into a fight, you're fighting on your terms. You're not letting people dictate how you're gonna fight. Besides for the Geneva Convention, but other than that,
Well, yeah, but that's basically a terms of service for everyone, isn't it?
yeah.
It's
I mean,
something
there's
that
no
made
really TOS in war. I'm gonna be honest. What happens in war happens.
yeah.
Civilian
The neutral
casualties are
intervention there.
always gonna be guaranteed. Bombing of like targets
The,
that
If you're
aren't.
gonna bomb a city, there is going to be civilian casualties, no
it's
doubt
kind of
about
Yeah,
it.
if you're
effort to
bombing a
minimize
factory, a military factory, like there's gonna be.
There's civies in it.
Yeah, there's gonna
oh
be
yeah,
civilian casualties.
sorry if you hear like high pitched whining coming from my mic. My dog is underneath my feet whining, and I don't know why.
No, we can't hear much of anything. You're loud enough to where we can hear you, but you're still quiet.
But yeah, it's just gonna be one of those situations where we can we can theorize all we want, but what might actually happen is going to be something entirely different.
Oh yeah. Oh, Russia and China came out with
Yeah,
their
they've joined forces, but that was expected. They've been allies for a very long time.
yeah, they said, hey, if America tries anything, like we got
I
each
really, I
other's
really think
back.
China was once war in the first place. Like
The
they're pushing
Chinese,
it.
the Chinese are itching for a war. They want to fight us. I feel. I think they want to fight us, and they want to try to win, but they won't because of the fact is, no matter who tries to fight us, we have the superior military.
And production.
Uh, uh well, the superior military, but we also have that combat experience, and we control most of the trade with these countries. we have made it clear that if Russia invades Ukraine, we're crippling their economy. And there's no doubt about it that their economy won't recover for a very long time. And that's the same thing with China. Is if we go to war with China, all we have to do is block trade between China and the other nations of the world, and their economy's just crippled. It's over. And China's such a economy driven country. All the money comes from the fact that everybody buys things from them because it's cheap.
Yeah, it's not lucrative prices.
So with any of these countries, it's in nobody's best interest to go to war with us.
Like with a similar situation to like Russia having superior numbers, even if China conscripts all its people, which is a lot of people, and give them their full training, I'm still very doubtful they'd be able to push through even one of the smallest countries on their way through Europe.
Oh no, they would have to fight through they'd have to fight through Taiwan. Taiwan's an island, and there's battle plans to defend Taiwan. At least I've developed battle plans to defend Taiwan because it's an island. Islands are easy to defend.
Oh yeah, like Australia, for example.
Australia, you can't invade it because it's just a big desert.
Exactly.
All you have to do is pull your military into the desert, and you attrition the enemy so bad, or you make their logistics so fucking terrible, like in North Africa during World War II, that they just can't fight you at that point.
Yeah, that's what brought Rommel down, is just logistics.
Well, what came down? No, it's not. Rommel really could have won the war in North Africa, but the problem was the Eastern Front. The Eastern Front was getting priority from Hitler.
Oh right, yes.
Yeah, so he was getting no logistics from Germany. So the next best thing would be Italy. But Italy wouldn't give them fuel because they wouldn't have fuel for their civilian cars. They wouldn't give them weapons because garrisoning stuff. Like Italy wouldn't Mussolini wouldn't give them anything.
Fucking cunt.
Yeah. So Mussolini kind of just completely abandoned them.
We're gonna have to bleep that bit out. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's just a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
All around. All around, there's nothing gonna be good that comes out of this, but a bunch of people are gonna end up dying, and hopefully it isn't us.
Yeah.
Because I know what I want to do, and I know I'm enlisting. I don't know about you guys, but if war breaks out when I enlist, I'm most likely going to Europe.
Yeah.
Though I am an engineer, so I think I just might go for a manufacturing job. So I could just like start producing weapons for like.
I would probably most likely get conscripted due to my knowledge of animal handling.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might do like dog training and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit, that's not a terrible job in the military.
At that point, I just go in myself because I'd rather go through the full training course and like get proper experience with training.
No, like it's better to say that you chose the fight than say you got drafted. Because in World War II, if people said, "Oh yeah, I got drafted," they were frowned upon. Those people were frowned upon because they're seen as cowards. People didn't want to fight side by side by a drafted person.
Well, it was like people who also couldn't get into the military because like they're underaged, and then they had to join up through drafting as well.
Oh, like, you can only get drafted when you're 18 or above. So
exactly,
17 with parents' permission.
A lot of 16 and 17-year-olds in World War II.
They lied about their age.
And lied to get in the army.
There was a lot of people in World War II lied about their age. I think one of the youngest Marine was 14.
Yeah.
Lied about his age, and he was 17 when he went to Iwo Jima, tossed himself on a grenade, lived. It was 2 grenades. He tossed himself on 2 grenades to save his buddies, lived, got the Medal of Honor, and then in Vietnam he was a paratrooper, jumped out of a plane, none of his parachutes worked, and lived. Not a scratch on him.
That's it's kind of like the
I,
what was
I don't
it?
know if
The
I'm seems like you're
unkillable
trying.
soldier.
I don't know if I'm seems like you're trying to just justify child soldiers here, saying they're
No,
invulnerable.
I'm not, but I'm saying, hey, this is the youngest soldier that we know of in our military, but who have served in our military.
All I can say is though, how in the world did they know he was 14?
They didn't know he was 14.
But
He
after
lied.
after World War Two, after serving in World War Two, how the hell do they
Uh,
know he was 14?
I think they celebrated his birthday, and that's when it
No,
came out.
so he his comp he was 15 when he went to basic, I think. I don't. It's been a while since I read his book. Um,
Oh, he has a book. I might
yeah,
read that then.
Indestructible by something. I think it was Jack Lucas.
Okay.
And it's a really good book. I read it back in 2016. So I'm going off pure memory right now.
That's fine.
But yeah, it's a really good book, but it's interesting to hear how his fucking parents would let him do it. But yeah, during that time, a lot of Americans felt the need or felt that it was their duty to serve and yet strike back at Japan.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I feel like America getting into the war is more personal than other countries like the UK
oh
and
yeah, and
it's like you
that's
were
what I,
literally like bombed out of nowhere.
yeah, we didn't want war, but we got it.
But then it comes like the whole argument of some people say Americans saved every other country.
Oh well, okay. So what we say in my uh, history class is we say American supplies for World War II. We say American supplies, Russian lives, because we did not win the war. The Soviet Union did.
Oh yeah, clearly.
We did nothing but we produced. We could produce. They couldn't bomb us because we were half the world away. So it was our supplies that won the war, but it was the Soviet Union's lives. The fact that they were fighting to defend the motherland and they had pride in what they did, they won the war. We did
Yeah,
not win the war.
I truthfully believe if like Russia didn't make that comeback after Stalingrad,
Yeah, they would have just
we
got.
wouldn't have
They
won
would
the
have
war.
been.
Like
Yeah.
look at some of the look at some of
Okay,
the tanks
so
Germany producing.
if we really want to get into depth about it, it wasn't Stalingrad that was the turning point. It was the second battle of Kursk.
Oh, also, wasn't it like Hitler diverting one of the Panzer divisions
Uh,
too early?
well, yeah, he really diverted the Panzer divisions that were gonna out. They were outside of Moscow in spring, but he told Hans Guderian to
To, to
uh
go early.
to go south way too early, and that honestly screwed him over. Because he could have just blitzkrieged his way right through Moscow, and taken it in May or April or whatever fucking month it was. But it was really the second Battle of Kursk in 1943 that was the final turning point, because Hitler invested all of his the big Panzer divisions with the Panzer V, the Panther, and if he pulled off the encirclement that he was gonna pull off or about to pull off, he very well could have destroyed. I think it was 2 million Soviets because they didn't take prisoners. The Germans didn't take prisoners. Neither did the Soviets. So I firmly believe that that was the turning point. Historians argue about it all the time. That is the Battle of Stalingrad, and honestly, if Stalingrad fell, it wouldn't have ended up good for anybody.
Yeah.
Mm.
Stalingrad was a very key point of the battle, but Kursk was the downfall of the German armored corps. So
I might have to leave soon just on the sole factor of my dogs keep whining and I don't know why.
that's fine.
I'll let you know beforehand, but
Yeah, we can't hear anything, so
I just don't know why they're whining, honestly.
uh,
Which is the only thing that's worrying me.
they're probably not yet. They're like, oh, you're not paying attention to us. We're gonna.
Probably, but when a dog's whining, it's never really a good sign, is it?
No, not really.
Yeah, I'll stay on for like till the hour mark and then I'll drop off.
Yeah, we have about 20 minutes, and
20 minutes, not fuck. Yeah,
yeah,
stay
we
on
have 20 minutes left.
I'm gonna stay until 6 in the UK, so it'll be about one fuse.
Yeah, but yeah,
But yeah,
no matter what, it's not gonna turn out well for anybody.
well, that's war's just one of those things, isn't it?
It's
Oh,
just one of those things. Like, why the
well,
fuck
it's
did you go do that
also
now?
nobody wants to go to war. Let's be honest, nobody wants to go to war unless there's a driving power like 9/11 for us to go to war. Once we
Yeah,
got hit, it
wasn't
was an
it
attack on our country, and 5,000 people died.
like wasn't it what was it called? Like I remember like reading a document that basically explained if how a country would go to war. It's like one of the requirements for a country, no, one of the things that they would look for is if it was advantageous to the country to go to war with them.
Well, there's no real set uh, rules of if
How to go to
how
war.
to go to war. It's
It's just
do you want to, and is it in the best interest of you and your fellow countrymen?
yeah, that's what I was trying to say, but I can't speak right now.
That's fine. But yeah. What other topics do we have? Do you guys want to fully bring us back to this every Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly do. It gives me some work on.
Yeah, I mean, it gives us something to do, and we have shit. I like Ethan. Like you've disappeared for like 4 months, man.
Life is difficult here in the UK.
Life is
I'm
difficult everywhere, man. But we're also like 2 years younger than you, so
Yeah.
and
we're
and
still.
America is just a massive shit show still.
America's always been a shit show. Tell me when have we ever not been in a shit show? Like
Or I'm gonna say the early 1900, 19th century, no,
nah, Great Depression.
90s. Yeah, I know.
Uh,
That just sounds like when the Great Depression was going on for
right
England. So
after World War II, actually, we were in a shit show.
Yeah, I think after World War II, I guess, would be the
Yeah,
best
because
answer.
Korea people protested a little bit. Vietnam was heavily frowned upon.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I know the reason. Like America went to war with Vietnam. Australia did help out in minor bits just due to the close proximity. But like, I never really got the full reason why.
we got it. We had advisors there. Our advisors got attacked, or a bunch of them got killed. There's some and mutilated or some shit. I think. I'm not completely up with the justification. We
I
deployed.
think it was a domino effect. It was if Viet if fuck whatever it's called. If Vietnam was to fall to the communists, uh, they feared the domino effect. Like soon
Yeah,
it'll go
I
to
know that
Asia.
part. Um,
That's all I know about it. It was just like the domino effect. It's like they feared the domino effect.
yeah. Trying to understand why we did half the things we did is you
It's
kind of
just
just have to be in that era to really understand because
understand it.
you can read 1,000 books on it and can spit out 1,000 facts about it, but we truly never will know what was going through the heads of our leaders or their leaders at the time.
Yeah, it's just America.
Well,
All right,
that's like it with everything. is you just have to. It's one of those things that you have to be there. You have to understand it.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna need to go because my dog is really whining now, so I have to catch him a bit.
Alright.
I think we're probably gonna end because we don't have much really to talk about.
Yeah.
I'll let you go finish it off. Catch him a bit.
Thanks
Sure.
for watching.
I guess it was fun. This was
Yeah,
fun.
thanks
We
for
can do this
watching
again
the
some other time.
Veteran Boys podcast. We haven't done this in a while, so forgive us for being rusty at talking. But it's better than awkward silence that was half of our episodes. And sorry if we have audio issues. We'll get those straightened out for next week, probably. And yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll talk to you guys later.